Hello, Chill Computer Guy here. We are checking out Ableton. One of the most amazing things about Ableton is the fact that you can add swing to audio. Now, not only do you have the groove, the swing mixer, or the groove pool as they call it, but you also have the option to add those same grooves to audio, which is pretty amazing. I don't know, I haven't used all the DAWs, but I know that the DAWs I have used, you can only apply, shuffle or swing to MIDI, but in Ableton you can actually apply it to audio. You don't have to slice up the audio or anything; it just shifts it for you, which is pretty amazing. So that's what we're going to talk about. Let's go ahead and get into the program here. Now, see, we're using the groove pool here and whatnot, which is down here. Actually, I got two here. Let me switch screens. I got the double screen going. Check it out, Ableton with the double screen. It's pretty sick. I'm going to have to actually just close this screen down, I think. Hold on a second. F11, get rid of that full screen action. Okay, get rid of that full screen action. Get rid of that guy. There we go. There we go. That's what we're talking about. Everybody all together now. Yeah. Okay, let's get it going here. So you can see we got the groove pool. We have tons of grooves in here, all kinds of grooves here. And you can see we got our MIDI, our MIDI drum pattern. And you can see we're using an eighth verse, which is what I usually do is in the groove pool. Once I get kind of the grooves I'm going to use for my song, I kind of rename them in the groove pool. And I usually fill this thing up with a lot of eighth note, a lot of 16th note. Now, if you're swinging with, a 90 BPM and you're not doing double time, if you throw an eighth note shuffle on there, it's gonna be like every other kick is gone. It's gonna put the beat straight. Let me kind of show you what that sounds like here. So here's our drum pattern with the eighth verse, which is actually a slower eighth note shuffle. So you can see what we're doing is we're using the eighth verse, which I've renamed here. So you can see this is eighth note, no quantizing though, and the timing's 44%. So these values right here, you're going to get some really legitimate variations. And you can see the chorus, which is also eighth note, is 100% quantized. And what this is going to do, it's going to push the kick drums onto the quarter notes or eighth notes basically. So every little accent you have with the kick drum is going to get rid of the accent. So let's go ahead and listen to this drum pattern, and we're going to switch it around here. So here we are in the DAW, and what we're going to do is we're going to look at the shuffle. You'll have to forgive me, I got a bit of a cold. Actually, it's kind of it's the cold, the cold, the thing that's going around. I got that thing, and so that's a real son of a bitch. But we're doing okay with it. Luckily, I was vaccinated and whatnot, so I got to take. They won't let me work. I get 10 days off of work, which is kind of a blessing in disguise. I'm feeling a little bit better today, so I figured I'd make a video. We've been in Ableton talking about the shuffle. And what I usually do is when I'm putting together my song, I always start with drums. And I paint in some notes, just knowing what I know about basic grooves and stuff. I'm coming from a drumming background. And so being able to lay down some funky-ass drums is kind of like that thing. But they're not going to be very funky unless you put a groove on them. And what I usually do is I kind of go through the groove pool. I kind of know what to expect by just looking at the groove pool. You're going to have 16th note and 8th note shuffles mainly. Of course, you can build any groove you want up here in the groove pool. But once I find the groove that I'm going to use, I actually rename this. So this is the eighth note verse. This is actually the shuffle I'm going to use in the verse, hypothetically, if this were my verse. And then eighth note chorus, which is maybe where I'm going to shift to. And so I'm not really changing the drum pattern. I'm just changing the shuffle between the chorus and the verse, which is pretty sick. Now, if you notice here, eighth note verse is eighth notes, but there's no quantizing. and the timing's 44%. Okay. The eighth note chorus, however, is the exact same, but the quantize is 100%. So what this is going to do, it's going to shift anything that's not on quarter eighth notes over. So like all these extra little ghost notes on the kick drum, it's going to get rid of those, and the rhythm's going to sound very, very straight. So what we're going to do is we're going to play this drum loop here, and we're going to switch between the verse and the chorus shuffle here. You get kind of a vibe of what's going on here. So you can kind of hear just, I mean, you're not changing the groove at all. You're not touching any of the MIDI notes. You're just, changing the shuffle. And one of the things, the reasons with for me, it's like I don't really do the techno, the house, the 4/4 stuff. I have to have like something that kind of makes you move a little bit, something with a little bit of vibe to it. And so, the groove pool, the shuffle, I need to have like something that I can really, that's one of the reasons I'm kind of switching DAWs right now, is because I need to have that groove. I need to have that shuffle. I need to have that vibe. And the only way to really get that, I mean, you can go in here and switch every one of these MIDI notes manually. I know how to create a shuffle manually by moving the notes around, but the fact that you have a groove pool, you can kind of mess with the stuff, you can get a vibe right away, is it's priceless. Now, the thing is, here in Ableton, you can also apply the shuffle to audio clips. I'm serious, and I don't know if there's any other DAWs that can do that, but what's great about this is you don't even have to cut it up. Now, normally you'd have to take the audio and you have to cut it up, cut up the transients, and then shift the transients and get all kinds of pops and shit. And it's like, no. It'll actually shift the audio without cutting anything. And so, to me, that's pretty damn amazing. So we're going to take a look at that right now. And so you can kind of get what's going on. So we have this this drum groove, and then we also have this little bass groove here. So we're gonna play that, and we're gonna add the bass, and we're gonna switch around the shuffle on the bass. And this is an audio loop. This is an audio loop. Yes, you can see the transients, obviously, but you can, but you're not having to cut anything, which is pretty valuable. So let's play these both together. You can see we have the eighth note verse on the drum clip and the bass clip. And then we're going to switch this bass clip around. We're going to put some different shuffles on here. And here, how this is working with an audio clip. No cutting, no nothing. It's actually shuffling the audio, which is brilliant. Let's go ahead and listen to this. Now, to prove this, what this does is this is pretty much on the beat, except for, so it changes the end of this quite a bit. It changes this end part because there's, with an eighth note, 100% quantized, you have to have the notes pretty close together to notice the difference here. But what's great about this is if I hit this arrow, it'll commit the shuffle, and you can visually see this audio being slid into place. Let's check this out. I mean, that's amazing right there. Let's go ahead and hit Control Z. And then go into the verse, do that same thing. And you can see it doesn't really shift it too much. It's not enough of a degree. But hypothetically, let's take this chorus and let's bring this to quarter notes here. So this is going to be a massive, massive shuffle right here. And it's probably going to sound like shit, but this is the point. I mean, it's messing up the end. Bam! It's shifting that. You can see it even puts a transient outside the loop marker. That's how much it shifts that. And so that's pretty sick. We're going to hit Control Z. Yeah, the fact that you can shift, you can add the shuffle and swing to audio clips is like, it's priceless to me. And I don't know how long it's going to take like Bitwig Studio to get on board with this, because You know, I don't work with 4/4. I'm not into it. I play the drums. You know, I'm a drummer, and so I'm all about feel. I'm all about swing. I'm all about that shaggy orange nappy carpet with the Davenport and the television set with the rabbit ears and whatnot. You know, I mean, I have to have something that you can feel, and so that's why I'm kind of switching to Ableton, just so we can. You know, just having a groove pool is just insanely priceless. It's like completely changed my vibe and how, you know, I compose. And what I normally do is I write my drums, you know, by hand, and then I start to add loops. And then what I do is I kind of like write the drums, maybe add a bass loop, maybe add like a lead loop or maybe an arpeggio loop, and then you go back to MIDI. And so it's kind of like the drums, fuck with some loops, and then go to MIDI. And I mean, if you're writing everything in MIDI, I mean, you can play it in. I also play it in a little bit, but if you're just trying to paint in notes, this is where I found that I messed up is I don't want to be like, you know, oh, you can't use loops. Loops is cheating. But no, loops is where you find your vibe, and it's where you find the hooks sometimes, you know. And it's like, if you're painting in all your notes, it's like it's really hard to get it to hit right now. The fact that you can shuffle an audio loop, now you bring your drum pattern, you paint that in, you know, you got the knowledge on how the drums work. And then you bring a loop in, and then you get some cohesiveness. You mess with the shuffle on the audio clip, you get something going. Now you've got a foundation. You can put you can write some MIDI on top of that. You know, play it in, or even use the MIDI. You know, because there's kind of a balance between, you know, total control, which is painting your MIDI notes in, and like a medium control, which is playing it in on the MIDI keyboard, and then a very little amount of control would be like just dragging loops in. But the fact that, you know, it stretches, it sounds good here in Ableton. So that's kind of where I'm at. I write my drums, mess with some loops, put a loop on top, get the vibe, and then I start messing with some MIDI. And so I don't know if that's just me. I can't do the 4/4 boom boom. I'm not digging the seizure music, you know, really. All right, let's listen to some of these drum loops. You can see it's the same basic thing. We're just switching stuff up a little bit here. Let's go ahead and turn off this bass line here. That sounds kind of shitty, but you know what I'm saying? It's like, to me, the clip launcher is where you paint. It's where you splatter paint. And then once you dialed in, then you start in the arranger and you start arranging the stuff in, you know. And once you start arranging, that's when the excitement happens, you know, because you get the parts to work. They might not work together, but they'll work at different points in the song. And so, you know, you give yourself a lot of groove, a lot of leeway with that, you know. dirtiness right there. My, oh my. Anyway, yeah, have fun producing. Check it out. All right, that's it for me. I got to go. I got to lay down and whatnot. Anyway, be safe out there, Chill Computer Guy. Give me a thumb up, subscribe, click the bell, leave a comment, and we'll see you guys again. Bye-bye now.
Hey, you! Come over here!